Today on Talflater Mouse, we're going to be testing out the QUAD-BOLO, a very, very unusual 12-gauge prototype slug. We test the most exotic 12-gauge ammunition in the world. These come from the imaginations of a few talented viewers, but their designs are years ahead of what's commercially available. This is the QUAD-BOLO, a design by Brian from Northern California. Honestly, I've never seen a design like this. I never would have imagined designing something like this. It consists of 4 .36 caliber brass cylinders, and they're all attached together using steel cables. Everything is suspended inside an epoxy resin, and the idea is when it impacts something, the epoxy will break apart, and those 4 weights or cylinders will spread out and drag the cables through the flesh. The QUAD-BOLO is a very long projectile measuring 40 millimeters in length. And typically, the longer the projectile, the more spin we need to stabilize it. And here we can see that the QUAD-BOLO is 2.5 times the length of a normal Foster slug. The QUAD-BOLO will be using a discarding sabot, so the goal here is to try to get as much spin as we can, which means we have to drive it as fast as we can, but also not destroy it in the process. So if we can get it to 1,600 feet per second, we should be able to get it just over 31,000 RPM. Now these have never been tested before. They're just concepts. They're not for sale, and we don't know what they're gonna do. So let's head out to the test range and see how these perform.
Welcome back, Talflater folks. Officer Gregg, retired Officer Gregg out here in front of you, and Jeff behind the camera. And today we have a special guest shooter that I will introduce in just a minute. But we are going to shoot today, you remember Brian from Northern California? He sent us these, what we call them QUAD-BOLO rounds. And Jeff's gonna show you on the tabletop what a QUAD-BOLO looks like. But it's
I would never imagine designing something like this. This guy's getting very creative.
Yeah, these are kind of cool. All strung together by a piece of wire, 4 little side projectiles hooked to a center one. I don't know, it's nutty. He sent us a bag of these things. We're gonna try them downrange and see if they even work. But the cool thing is, if the gun blows up, it's gonna be Lonzo. If you wanna come over here. So Lonzo's gonna pull the trigger on these things today and see if they blow up. So my eyes are precious.
I would have brought the remote detonator, but we got Lonzo out here. We got
remote detonators here.
Yeah.
Lonzo's been a fan of the show for a long time, so he's going to pull the trigger today and fire off Brian's invention.
It's possible you may see more of him. I'm trying to talk him into, you know, hey,
like
come out more often.
Ankles. All right, well, enough chatter, Jeff. Let's get to it and see what they do.
Okay, I'm ready. Well, you hit it.
Hit it.
That's half the battle.
All right, here it comes like a flying torpedo. It's spinning. We got pretty good stability, but it's got a little bit of a wobble to it, so we just barely got it. Now it looks like we may have lost the steel base plate, which has the little black stripe on it. I don't see it in frame. I don't know what happened to it, but there goes one of the sabots right there. And we can see that it drifted a little bit to the right, but overall not bad for a first test. Let's see what kind of damage it did.
The hitches come in. That's right. Okay, let's see how he did there. Where did it land?
So Brandon caught it for us. Lonzo was aiming for the orange sticker. It landed what, 2-3 inches to the right?
Yeah, we always, you know, the red dot is sighted in for like a Foster slug, and these are drifting a little to the right so far. It looks like, oh, that's an ugly vest. I'm embarrassed.
Look at that.
Oh,
You're seeing it here first, folks. We have the little brass. Ooh, one of them got driven back into the. No.
that was at the base of it. Are there any cables left?
Yeah, there's a piece of a cable. There's a piece of a cable. They're sort of coming apart, the cable.
Wow, they sheared the cables.
Sheared the cables off. There should be one in there. Can you get that guy out? And you can see not only the core, but the 4 little wired projectiles.
You know, that's what it looks like when it hits a dry or a dry target like that. I guess we need to find out what it does when it hits like a wet target.
So spray this down?
Yeah, spit on it.
I'll spit on it. It usually costs you an extra $5, Jeff. All right, yeah, we're gonna try it into a, what do you want to shoot?
I don't know.
Ooh, we got wet magazines.
Wet magazines, nice big target, because we don't know where these things are. The point of impact is quite yet.
All right, well, let's swap out Brandon for some wet magazines.
Yeah, I've got fresh wet magazines. The ladies love the wet magazines.
Don't they?
Don't they? Yeah. Is that you on the cover? Okay, the famous wet magazines. Same point of aim. We'll see if it drifts a little bit to the right again. These things are so long. They're like 2.5 times the length of a normal slug.
That's what she said.
Shut up. Okay, I'm ready when you are. Ooh.
I don't know. Did that miss completely?
This is pretty interesting. It's flying nice and level, and then as it approaches the book, its own shockwave causes the nose to tip upwards. And we call that shockwave reflection or Mach reflection. The energy of the shockwave can actually influence the projectile itself.
Okay, I'm ready. There you go.
Yeah. Plus I see a splatter on it.
And finally, we have a near perfect shot. Good stability, nothing fell off the slug. We still have the base plate and excellent accuracy. I gotta say, I was starting to worry about these things, but Lonzo nailed this one. And as you can see, we have a massive amount of surface damage. Usually we just get a slug-sized hole and a little bit of tearing around the entrance, but this thing almost destroyed the entire face of the magazines or the Granger catalogs.
Thought I've seen it all.
Look at that shit, would you?
What's going on here?
So Lons and I walked up here. We can't even see the bottom of that hole.
Did it go all the way through?
Oh, we're going to find out here shortly. It did not make it all the way through, but look at this. It bulged even the last catalog. So we're going to be able to tell.
The great reveal. People like the reveal. I thought it would be boring for people, and it's like they're kind of into it. Like, you know.
Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh wow.
Is that pretty cool or what?
Wait a minute. Okay.
That's the little 4.
I got to zoom in on there. So you got the 4 little.
1, 2, 4, 5. And it actually made marks here on the back catalog, but we don't have any projectiles on it.
So the cables didn't.
Punched it.
Oh wow.
I have a feeling the cables didn't hold this because, look at this.
Oh, I see them in there.
Yeah. So here's pieces of resin. So regardless, you're going to get shards of resin out of this.
And
that would be against the Geneva Convention, Jeff.
I hear that all the time. It's a war crime.
That would be a war crime. Oh, good. We're not going to war, and nobody's planning on using this round in war. Look at that.
In fact, they're not for sale. Look at that. That's it.
I feel like this is Sesame Street for adults.
It's
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's
Cuatro.
they're like measured perfectly.
Yeah, I know. It's a perfect square.
Okay, that was what I was hoping, but I was.
Well, that tells you that the cables kept them tethered for a while.
Yeah.
Or they would have gone all over the damn place.
I'm hoping the cables did something. We have to look at the beginning of the book and see.
Yeah, so clearly they were already punching through here.
You would think those cables would not break like that.
Well, they're breaking, but initially they're holding the things together until they're jamming through on their own. We've just got to find out where they went because
it's one of those. It's like the regular bolo round you buy at those gimmick ammo companies.
Do you buy those?
Well, everyone buys them one time and they're so disappointed and never buy anything from that company again. That's how it works.
No, they're made.
Fire Quest.
They're made to trip a guy, or they're made to cut a guy's throat if it flies.
Yeah, that's what you think is going to happen, but the cable just instantly is just snapped like a.
They're always
like a toothpick.
They're always just garbage. Where is our?
I think it's still going.
But this one ended up in this one.
You still haven't gone to the front. That front damage was nuts. I've never seen anything like.
This is our front damage.
Yeah. Okay, now
I don't think we're gonna find your bolo pieces in there.
the
though.
cables might be in there somewhere. And if you're bored with seeing stuff like this, just skip ahead.
Yeah, it's
Dang
funny
nabbit.
how YouTube has that little skip feature that you just tap the right side
Yeah,
of the screen.
it's a lot. It takes less effort to do that than complain, right?
No, but it's not nearly as fun. Look at this. Oh, wait a second. You want to see what I just saw?
What'd you just say? Oh.
What? What just happened? That was a patented Pacific Northwest finger.
Man, people are missing that, man.
See? Well,
Oh, here you go. Something just fell.
oh, look at that. Alonzo found it. That's why he's a detective. He detected.
Oh, he's a detective,
he
like
detected something.
like on Barney Miller.
Just like those. Just like Barney Miller. God dang it. Well, where is... This is what it punched into. They got to be in here somewhere. They're still flying.
Oh, I might have to edit some of this out, but
For the attention impaired.
yeah, I care too much about those people. That's my problem. I care too much.
That's... Everybody says you care too much.
So, did any of those, the little brass cylinders, make it through?
Well, no, because we looked,
Where'd they end up at?
we looked back here and they don't appear to have made it
They just
through.
vaporized.
Can I dig through this?
Yeah. I'm still seeing holes though, and we're almost at the back. This is the back of the book.
Maybe they went. They
I don't
had
know.
to gone all the way
Maybe-
through.
Maybe some of them did. Well, 3 of them. Look, one of them did stop somewhere along in here. Page 437. 3 of them are still
The
rolling.
heck? They're pretty light. They're not, and they did really well as far as. If you
There we go.
find something.
On page 614, Jeff. On page 614 is where I found one of them that was stopped. And why this one stopped, I
And
don't
the
know.
cable's just ripped right out of it.
The cable is actually still tailing it,
Oh, okay. So it.
but Jeff, the science shows us there are 3 remaining holes in the back of this. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres, tres. There are 3 holes going out the back, so 3 of them actually did skip all
We
the
might
way
see
through.
that on the high speed.
And
You know,
what
with
was this,
something.
like 8 inches deep of wet magazines?
It's it's about 8, which equates to about 16 inches of
8
ballistic
inches,
shell.
I think, right?
Huh?
8 inches is like that, I've been told. But yeah, ouch. Cables will poke you.
Yeah, those would not feel good.
So anyway, the cables are coming apart each and every time, but not before they are still controlling, at least a little bit. They're controlling the spread.
Yeah, we didn't. These have never been tested before.
Are you sure?
We got to remind people, and we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, that's why we test them.
Cut the cables right there. Look at that.
Nice.
So you can see.
Oh,
you can
ouch.
see the 4 cables still attached to the bottom.
So it's just it's ripping
Oh.
off.
Yeah.
This guy is ripping off
I
of
don't know
there
if
at
you
some
can see
point.
that. You see the 4 still.
May the force be with you.
The 4s, may the 4s be.
Yeah. So
So that's real interesting.
the cables, you'd have to use like a 1/4-inch cable or something so it wouldn't break.
Yeah.
Still see that.
A 1/4-inch cable. I think you're supposed to be a little bit bigger.
Today on Tal Flare Mouse, we've got Kentucky Ballistics. Do the face.
Yeah,
Oh, wait.
You gotta do
you're
the
missing
face.
A hole in your neck. And you got to do the sound effects, Jeff. There needs to be a.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he's full of sound effects and clownery.
Oh.
Unlike this very serious scientific channel that we have.
I
here
remember when
for
he
you.
used to shoot top ramen and stuff like that.
In
It
his
was fun.
backyard on a little wooden jig.
Yeah.
Those are the good days.
I think you hit it.
Yeah.
Well, it sure looked like a great shot, but as they say in England, sometimes things go around the bend. We had absolutely no stability on that shot. We had tumbling as opposed to spinning. So let's take a closer look and see what happened. We can see that one of the weights has actually ripped out from the slug from centrifugal force, or centripetal force if you prefer, and that completely ruined the spin. It was amazing he hit it, and it still did a lot of damage.
Very well.
Alonzo was aiming down here and
Yeah.
hit sideways on his right paw.
Yeah, like I said, when you see the high-speed footage, like, how did he even hit that
You
thing?
can even see the little cylindrical shape. It angled upward, and then somewhere back here, there's a little bit of a gap there where the thing took off. Now, Lonzo found a little brass piece, the core, out here.
Yeah, the little acorn nut. Some of them have acorn nuts, some
We
of
don't
them
know
don't.
is that one from the newspaper or is that or the magazines or is that one from the drill?
That's a good point, yeah.
So that's why I made it, Jeff. That's a good point. That's all I make.
Okay, let's
Good
find
point.
another target.
All right, we have lead plate for all of you lead plate fans, and we got a little bit of a melon character back there too. So
Yeah,
definitely
and then we
build
got the
those up.
ballistic gel block.
Gel block.
Ugh. Okay, the world famous lead plate. I'm ready when you are. I'd say you hit it.
You can see we're kind of walking on a tightrope. We're trying to get enough velocity to get enough spin for stability, but if we push it a little bit too hard, the spin is great enough to cause the slug to start tearing apart. There's a very fine line between success and utter failure.
Suddenly failing now as far as the stability
They're not
goes.
failing terribly. I mean, they're flying. But remember, they're not very concentric inside. You know, they're not perfectly centered like a factory.
Some had such stability they were like flying like a missile, you know.
I don't know if you can get in here, but the little what is that? A little aluminum or metal
Oh, the base plate.
base plate is right there. You've got one of the little brass unwired projectiles. The other one, there is one actually buried down in here. And then one clearly struck right there and bounced back out, which we did find some shards out in front, laying out in front of the target.
Yeah. Why the heck are they not stable now all of a sudden? That's the crazy thing.
Must be the heat.
Maybe the barrel is getting hot. We have to put some ice
what
on
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
The Coriolis effect. All right, I'm going to swap this out
Okay,
real
let's
quick.
get it something else. The ballistic tactical melon. You probably, being in the police department, you're probably familiar with these.
Tactical melons.
Yeah. Probably practice with those quite often. Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, I think they're post approved.
Oh. I'd say it hit to the left. Oh.
It's crazy. We start out so well and so promising, and then we get shot after shot after shot of the slug partially getting ripped apart. You know, it's frustrating, but it's still fun when you do it with friends, I guess. Got to be optimistic, right?
Okay, let's if this even lights off.
Are you rolling on these two?
I think so. Let me double check here. Yeah, that one should be going.
This one's going.
Okay, I'm ready.
Oh. That was a pink splatter.
So that was, I aimed right below his nose.
Okay.
That had to
Hit
hit.
something.
I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to where to aim.
That had to. Oh. That was a pink splatter.
This is actually really cool. The slug is coming in, spinning normally, very stable, and then we see the exact moment it comes apart. And because it came apart so close to the target, that is the reason why it was so accurate. Now, when we're out there filming, we really have no idea what's really going on until I get home and start reviewing this footage and seeing what amazing little things like that show up on camera. Now, the amount of damage to the target was just absolutely impressive, but preferably we want the slugs to be stable in flight. That's our goal, but we're having a lot of issues with these slugs today. But you never know what's going to happen until you test it. I do hope you are enjoying the video today. If you are, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not, give it a thumbs down. We're one of the few channels that read your comments and often reply to them as much as humanly possible. That's part of the fun. Why comment if the video creator doesn't read them, right?
Doing some very weird things.
But this one hit almost exactly point of impact. He was aiming right here, top lip, and it hit sideways. It was tumbling, but
Wait
still,
till you see the high speed. It's like, what the heck's going on
that
there?
would have caused you a bad day.
Yeah.
It did blow up, and who knows if this, oh, look, it's bleeding purple all over.
Yeah, I went with purple today. Grapple.
Grapple, little grape drank. Either way, I mean, it might have been tumbling, but it landed pretty much where Alonzo was trying to get it to go.
A little slippery,
Slippery head there.
there. It's all that soap.
Yeah, Alonzo had to take off. He's on call this weekend. He had a
Well, you had to do some Mother's Day stuff.
silly him going to Mother's Day when we're just out here, a couple of dudes
Yeah.
hanging out on a ditch bank.
Being out of Mother's hair is a gift.
I think so.
That is a gift to her.
You go ahead and tell yourself that. Some of
Yeah,
us have
they don't want to
wives-
be around you.
Some of us
they
have
want-
wives
they want some-
that say, "No, you're going shooting on Mother's Day, huh?"
They want some alone time.
Sure
So
they
it's
do.
it's a gift.
I have a feeling Mrs. Flatermouse gets more alone time than she really wants. Anyway, he struck the purple water bottle inside, so job done,
Yeah,
even if it smacked him sideways.
it didn't fly very well. And that one had gotten wet, so I can't believe the powder actually ignited.
Yeah, we better fire those others off. I'm going to step in here and take the last couple of shots, but we better fire those before they do get soaked.
Yeah, we got to get this guy out of. He's got to go do some Mother's Day
I got a
stuff.
Mother's Day real quick.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go.
Oh, oh,
I think that one hit.
I think it did. Oh, oh.
Okay, we can't blame Lonzo for the problems, but somehow he got an accurate shot despite the slug tumbling through the air because of the brass weight being ripped out of it. And it did deliver a lot of energy to that jug, just vaporized it. Now we started thinking that maybe the shells or the gun or something was getting hot. It was a warm day, and we started out really well, and then things, as we progressed, got worse. So we're thinking, okay, it's just too hot. So we put the shells in some cold water to try to cool them down. And unfortunately, some of the water got into the shell, but unfortunately, it didn't prevent them from going off. We have one more shell for the ballistic gel block, and we'll see if we can get it right this time.
Okay, ballistic jelly.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay,
Wow, split your plate.
okay, it worked. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Fortunately, on our final shot, we got nearly perfect results, and this really shows you what this slug is capable of when it works correctly. Now, we had just a massive energy dump, especially in the first half of the block there, and the four 36 caliber brass cylinders broke away from the cable. And I realize that's kind of contrary to what we expected to happen or what you might expect to happen. You think that cable would be more than strong enough to withstand an impact like that, but these impacts are so great, it just snaps those cables like spaghetti. Now, even though we had some mixed results, it's good to see when things work correctly. And it was fun being out there with Lonzo and Gregg. Now, as far as velocity readings go, we had pretty good reliability with the LabRadar LX. We are getting more comfortable with it, and this gives you an idea of the readings that we did get. We did exceed 1,600 feet per second and was as low as in the 1,400s. Now, that's a pretty wide spread, and maybe the higher velocities were the ones that were giving us the problems.
I believe that one did not tumble. I
That one came out.
thought for sure it was going to tumble, but I think it functioned well.
Now, we also shortened the distance that we were shooting just so we could capture it all, but man, at what, 7 yards, 10 yards,
It wasn't even that. It was like 5 yards.
We captured all five. Yeah, I guess there's 5 projectiles in here, and you can kind of see the little tracks. Not only the little brass buttons that came uncabled, but the little base cut through there and made a track too. And you said you saw one of them going out the bottom?
Well, I saw one just, it must have come out the side there near the end there, that one that's not in the gel. I saw it leaving the gel and continue on.
Yeah, and you can see the, if you want to come up closer, you can see the metal cap. In fact, you can see much better from this side. You can see the metal cap.
There's one of the weights down here. That actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's actually quite good.
And I mean, total distance of about, this is a
16
inch, so we're at about 13 inches of penetration there.
And you count that one, that's closer to 14 inches
yeah,
probably.
that one made it a little bit further.
Yeah.
You can see that guy down there?
Yeah, right at the very bottom. And then one squirted out here.
Yeah. I think that might be the base because it's a little bit heavier.
Well, the base, you can see the base right there.
No, not the,
oh,
not the coin base.
That other part.
The little piece that they're tethered to.
Right, oh, okay.
It's a little heavier and it might have traveled on through.
Yeah.
Not way.
Bad. I was like, I don't know what happened, why they all started out pretty stable, and then it just, maybe because the gun was getting hot or something. I don't know.
I don't know, but they did start tumbling a little bit, and then...
Tumbling a lot. It was bad.
We cooled them in a bucket of water, which then, of course, leaked into the rounds, and then might have compromised them. I don't know.
There was water all the way down to the gas seal, and I didn't know if it had gotten past the gas seal.
So maybe not for duck hunting in the winter, but either way, Brian, thanks for sending these down. They turned out to be fun, regardless.
Yeah.
Like we always say, even if they're not 100%, they're fun to shoot, and they're interesting to take a look at. So
yeah.
How else are you going to see 2, 3 grown men out on a ditch bank playing with Travis Kelce dolls on Mother's Day? Find that somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right, well, I hope you guys liked it, and look for more Alonzo coming up in a future.
Is it Alonzo or just Lonzo?
It's just Lonzo. There's Alonzo, and then there's just Lonzo. He's Lonzo.
Yeah,
Lonzo.
if you liked him and you want to see him come back, encourage him, yeah.
Well, give us a thumbs up and let us know down here in the comment section.
Yeah. We're not just saying that. We read the comments.
If you want Jeff to keep on pulling a string on some kind of weird contraption, some AI, this AI stuff that Jeff likes to do nowadays, go ahead and mention that too in the comment section. But all right, thank you guys very much for stopping by.
Thank you for making it out here on a...
I came all the way from Idaho just for you.
I know, sort of.
You and Mother's Day, but...
Well, you'd still appreciate it, and our viewers are going to be happy to see you. Not him, you.
All right, we'll see you guys later.